Hello, Rider fans. Welcome to another edition of Casino Regina Turf TV right here on YouTube. I'm your host, the voice of the Riders, Rod Peterson, and we have a jam-packed show for you this week as we talk about the 1-0 Saskatchewan Roughriders coming off a 16-7 victory at Montreal last Friday. Today, we're going to chat with Riders linebacker, the Reaper, Reggie Hunt, about that game and this week's home opener against the Stampeders. We have a special surprise guest. Also, we're going to take you down to 620 CKRM here in downtown Regina, Harvard Broadcasting, give you a behind-the-scenes look at Saskatchewan's favorite open-line sports talk show, Sportsline, and the Rider Scott Schultz will join us for that, and some footage from our trip to Montreal. But right now, let's get it started with the Reaper. First up is the Reaper, number 9, Reggie Hunt, and we're talking about a 1-0 football club after a pretty thrilling victory in Montreal last week. Outstanding defensive performance.
Yeah, we emphasized it all week in practice. The main emphasis was to run to the ball no matter what. There was going to be mistakes. It was the first real game of the season, and there was going to be mistakes. So bottom line is just fly to the ball. We did that. 8
sacks, though, 3 interceptions. It was almost a perfect night, and Eddie Davis was upset you had to give up 3 safeties. As it turned out, that was best for the team, but you would have liked a 1-point shutout almost.
Right. My stats were a little wrong. I thought we had 7 sacks and 3 interceptions, but I guess we had 8, which is phenomenal. I think the first game of the season against a pretty strong Montreal team who are known for the past of having one of the better offensive linemen in the CFL. So, shout out to all our defensive linemen. They did a phenomenal job keeping their gaps. Getting pressure on the quarterbacks and linebackers and DBs as well. So, I'm proud of the guys, and I think we can grow from it.
We can't get ahead of ourselves, but Eddie Davis said this is the best defense you guys have had in 6 years. Your thoughts on that statement?
The funny thing is, me and Eddie both were talking about it on the sideline. We talked about we know we had some really good defenses in the past, but I think the guys we got right now, pretty phenomenal. And it's the defenses we had in the past is going to be pretty hard to top, but I think we got the guys right now to do it.
Okay, Calgary now. Mosaic Stadium will be sold out, I'm sure of it. You don't like Calgary very much. It should be a great game.
You know what? I can't stand them. I don't know if there's anybody over there I like, actually. I mean, if there was somebody I like, it'd be Henry. But, the receiving core, I think their mouth is way bigger than their play. You see them on TV talking so much and, I'm this, I'm that. But, they haven't won anything. We haven't won a Grey Cup either, but we're not all on TV, shouting by we're all great and almighty. But, those guys over there, they just bit off at the mouth, and it can only take so much of that.
I think you said in the preseason they're soft. Explain that.
The reason why I say that is because, you hardly ever see them getting yards after the catch. You get them catching the ball, but, they run out of bounds, so they fall to the ground, and they get up and throw the ball on the ground and then get up and start talking noise like they just made 50 yards after the catch, and it's really annoying, man. I don't think that's very sportsmanlike, and pick your game up if you want to talk.
All right, Reaper9.com. Fans can talk to you. They can watch video. I guess we're going to have some of your high school highlights too. Tell us about your website.
I think it's coming along really, really well. I think Jeff is doing an outstanding job on it. It's came out way better than I ever thought it would be. But it's there for the fans. I'm putting this highlight tape on there because I want fans to see a different side of me. It's the side I used to be and my natural side of playing tailback. And if there's any comments or any suggestions that the fans have, I'd be more than glad to take that into account.
You like communicating with your fans?
Oh, absolutely. I mean that's the main reason I want it on there anyway. But I want them to communicate to me as well. If there's something that they want on my website that they love to see, voice it. I'll be more than glad to put it on there.
That's awesome. www.reaper9.com. Reggie, thanks for coming on Casino Regina Turf TV.
Thanks for having me.
A big thank you to the Reaper Reggie Hunt for joining us here on Casino Regina Turf TV. Casino Regina, of course, just over my left shoulder down the street. We're here on Rose Street, right outside the radio station. We're going to take you in there real quickly. The casino wants to remind you, of course, to take advantage of their Stay and Play weekend. This Labor Day 2007 for $350. Get 2 nights accommodation in one of the best hotels in Regina. Your choice, the Ramada, the Hotel Saskatchewan Radisson Plaza, or the Sandman Inn. Tickets to the game, a pregame party at Mosaic Stadium, and of course, gaming coupons good at Casino Regina. Check out their website at casinoregina.com for all the details. As we mentioned, we were in Montreal last week for for the Riders' 16-7 victory over the Alouettes. Here are some pregame shots heading into the stadium.
Gotta go down here, he said.
A surprise visitor on this week's edition of Casino Regina Turf TV, Riders defensive coordinator Richie Hall, who as always is all smiles. But Rich, you got to be up to that effort in Montreal.
Well, I thought they did a really outstanding job. Congratulate the guys for the win, but for the way that they played from start to finish, and to hold Montreal, a team of their caliber, to 1 point, I think that's.
How about a quick comment, lastly, on the Stampeders here in the home opener Friday, and this joint's going to be crammed for the game.
Well, battle in the West. Every game is going to be a dogfight. They got a very good football team. They didn't show a lot when they were out here, but at the same time, we're a better team than we showed 2 weeks ago. So it's going to be a great opportunity for two teams to go at it, and we'll be playing for first place.
All right, well, it's going to be exciting. Richie, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And a big thank you to Riders defensive coordinator Richie Hall for dropping by here on Casino Regina Turf TV. This week's show coming to you from downtown Regina, just down the street from Casino Regina, always entertaining. Also the home of our Harvard Broadcasting Studio, 620 CKRM, where Monday night the Riders' Scott Schultz dropped in for a visit to take fans' call.
On 620 CKRM Sports Fans, this now, Rod Peterson.
Good evening, Rider fans. Happy holidays. And of course, Rider fans across the country, welcome to this Stat Holiday edition of Sportsline, coming to you live from our downtown studios, 1900 Rose Street. Rod Peterson with you, Joe Hattisback, John Lynch, and from the 1-0 Saskatchewan Rough Riders, number 96, defensive tackle Scott Schultz. He mentioned the Calgary Stampeders, and we should get into it. I interviewed Reggie Hunt today for our Turf TV show at petersonmedia.com, and Reggie had several things to say about the Calgary Stampeders, not the least of which is how their receivers run their mouth. He brought it up going into the playoffs last year against them. He thinks they talk too much.
Yeah, well, I don't really care, because, guys like me and some other guys, we get characterized for being loudmouths and boisterous and this and that. But when it comes to the game, and you can ask anybody in this league, guys like Reggie, guys like me, we don't talk on the game. We literally just try to kick the snot out of people. And by the third quarter, they're either behind the 8 ball or they're sucking wind trying to put us away. So it's one of those things where we talk outside of the field and let our actions speak louder than words on the field.
How much flack did you take over your comment about sacking Jesus Christ himself? And the reason I ask is I was reading Sports Illustrated on our flight last week, Jason Tater of the Dolphins saying I would sack my mother, which I thought isn't going to get anybody upset except maybe his mother. But you got a lot of religious folks upset at you.
Well, a lot of it is, first of all, when I want to talk to JC, I talk to him anytime I want. Right. So I'm not really too concerned about people who are doing things 6 ways to Sunday, and then because they go to church, they have an issue. So a lot of that takes care of itself. I was just trying to make a point with that kind of stuff. I did take a lot of flack. I would still say the same thing. When you're making a point, it's one of those things where you play the game of football how it should be played.
Did anybody single you out? Did you get emails, calls, anything like that, or?
Actually, one time me and O'Day were doing an autograph signing in the mall. And some crazy broad came up and started giving me what for it, and and O'Day and actually Drew Green was there, and he's egging her on, and because Drew's like get him, and so then I'm just taking it and just trying to go as far as I could with it, because I understand that some people don't quite understand what we're going.
So there's
for.
a look at what goes on each and every Monday night on Sportsline, talking football, talking to Rider fans, the greatest job in the business, and a big thanks to our buddy Scott Schultz for dropping by to join us. Don't forget, you've been watching Casino Regina's Turf TV. Let's sell out that stay and play weekend at Casino Regina. Again, $350 get you game tickets to the Riders and Bombers. They're almost sold out right now. All that's left are upper deck tickets, 2 nights accommodation, gaming coupons, and a pregame party at the stadium. All the details at CasinoRegina.com. Thanks to all of our guests on this week's show. Thanks to you for watching. We'll talk to you next week right here on Casino Regina Turf TV.